In 2014, a married couple got married. At first, they lived with their family. After some time, when they had saved enough money, they decided to buy a piece of land and build a house in Stung Treng province. The house was built with wood on top and stone underneath. After the construction was finished, they moved in. They organized a house blessing ceremony, inviting an achar, traditional priest, to sprinkle holy water, and 5 monks to chant. When the ceremony ended in the evening, there was a small gathering with food and drinks for relatives. There was a small child about 2 years old sleeping in a hammock. While the child was sleeping, he suddenly screamed and cried loudly, as if he had seen something frightening. No matter how much people tried to comfort him, he would not stop crying. Only after they placed a holy string from the monks on his chest did he finally stop crying. Seeing this, the husband's mother said, "My child, where did you get the wood to build this house?" He replied that he let the builders handle and prepare everything. His mother then warned, "Be careful, the wood might have an owner. You should invite a spiritual teacher to check it." 2 or 3 days later, all the relatives returned home, leaving only the husband and wife in the house. About half a month later, the wife began having strange dreams. The one that frightened her the most was a dream in which she saw their house on fire. She told her husband about the dream, and eventually the husband called his mother to tell her. His mother advised them to find a spiritual teacher to check the house. When the teacher arrived, he carefully examined the place and said that among all the wooden parts of the house, there was one piece of wood that had been used for hanging. He also said that there was an old female spirit staying in the house. The teacher only performed chanting and sprinkled holy water. He did not perform a ritual to bind or remove the spirit. Almost a month later, around 10 p.m. one night, the wife began to hear sounds like someone walking inside the house. Sometimes the lights were turned on, even though she clearly remembered turning them off herself. They would turn on and off repeatedly. Her husband told her it was probably an electrical problem, but she did not believe him. As time passed, the couple started arguing more and more. Eventually, the husband became upset and took a hammock to sleep outside in front of the house. The wife was very angry and did not call him back inside. The next morning, the wife asked her husband, "Last night, why did you come into the bedroom to look for something?" The husband replied that he never went inside. The wife said that at around 2 a.m., she clearly saw someone who looked exactly like her husband walk into the room, open the wardrobe as if searching for something, and then walk out. She did not ask at the time because she was still angry. The husband did not think much about it. He believed she was only saying that so they would make up and get along again. But from that moment on, both of them began to feel suspicious and started seeing and sensing strange things inside the house. Later, they went to Phnom Penh together for almost a week. When they returned home, the wife unlocked the door and began cleaning the house. Suddenly, she felt as if someone was upstairs. Thinking there might be a thief, she quickly called her husband. The husband grabbed a knife and went upstairs to check. When they turned on the lights, there was nothing there. But as they stood upstairs, both of them began to feel chills all over their bodies. They quickly went back downstairs together. At that moment, even the husband began to feel afraid. After they both began to feel afraid, they called the husband's mother. She told them to sell the house and move to Phnom Penh. Because of how frightened they were, they agreed with her. However, 3 different buyers came to look at the house, and none of them decided to buy it. One of the visitors finally spoke honestly and said, "I don't dare buy your house. I don't know who it was, but something kicked me from behind. I fell forward, and when I stood up, there was no one there." Later, that same person said her husband had a terrifying dream. In the dream, when they were moving their belongings into the house, a dark-skinned woman was sitting cross-legged near the spirit house. She pointed at him and said, "Why did you come here? What are you looking for?" Then she continued, "I already own this house. If you dare take it from me, I will destroy your whole family." In the dream, he also saw someone in the house lose their arms and legs. He was extremely frightened and told them that monks should be invited to chant at the house because it felt very unsafe. After hearing this, the couple began to think seriously about calling the wife's mother for advice. Her mother told them to come to Phnom Penh first and leave the house empty for the time being. But they did not follow her advice and continued living in the house. Soon they started seeing even stranger things. One day, while the wife was cooking and cutting fish, she suddenly saw what looked like a single leg run past her and then disappear. She told her husband, but he told her not to talk about it anymore. The wife said she could no longer endure it and insisted on returning to Phnom Penh. After they had been living in Phnom Penh for 2 months, One rainy day, the wife was folding clothes. She suddenly noticed two children standing in front of the house, staring at her. She felt confused and wondered why they were looking at her for so long. After a moment, the children walked away, but their eyes continued to turn back and look at her. She told her mother about what she saw. 2 days later, that night, the wife went to sleep and had a disturbing dream. In the dream, an elderly woman spoke to her and said, "I am your real owner. Why did you abandon the house and stop coming to see me? If you don't return to that house, I will not allow you to have children." When she told her husband about the dream, he immediately understood how serious it was. He told her, "Let's sell the house. Sell it no matter what." The wife felt deeply regretful because she loved the house. But one day something even more frightening happened. The spirit followed her all the way to Phnom Penh. At that time, her mother owned 2 houses. She had allowed the couple to live in one house in Phnom Penh, while she herself stayed at the other. One evening, the wife walked out of the house and saw someone who looked exactly like her mother sitting on a wooden bed outside. She did not think much of it. She casually said, "Mom, do you want to eat mango? I'll cut some for you." Even though it was nighttime, the figure replied, "Cut it and bring it here." Later, her husband asked, "What are you doing?" She replied, "I'm cutting mango for Mom." Her husband looked confused and said, "Which mom? Did my mother come to visit?" At that moment, the wife suddenly realized that her mother was not supposed to be there. Fear rushed over her as she understood that what she had seen was not human. She became terrified, ran to her husband, hugged him tightly, and cried. The husband immediately called his mother and asked her to come over, even though it was late at night. When his mother arrived and heard everything, she broke down in tears. She lit incense and prayed right away. The next morning, they went to consult another spiritual teacher. The teacher said, "There is an elderly female spirit following you. She wants your body and intends to cause your death." The wife asked where the spirit came from. The teacher replied that it came from a very distant place. She immediately thought of the wooden house. She asked the teacher to look into that house. The teacher closed his eyes to examine it spiritually, but suddenly reacted in shock. He said there was something in that house that did not allow him to see clearly. A voice demanded, "What are you looking at?" However, the teacher was still able to glimpse its form. A dark figure with long, messy hair, accompanied by 2 pale-faced boys with unusually large eyes. The teacher explained that this spirit stayed above the old house. The mother asked urgently, "What can we do to make it leave?" The teacher replied calmly, "There is a way." After hearing the spiritual teacher say that there was a way to deal with the spirit, he explained that certain items had to be taken to the house. However, everything had to be done during daylight. It could not be done at night. He also instructed that the wife must not go. Only the husband was allowed to take the items. After placing the items inside the house, 1 candle had to be lit in the middle of the room. Everyone then had to leave the house, step outside completely, and close the door behind them. Once everything was prepared, they waited for the teacher to begin the ritual. The ceremony started around 3 p.m. When the chanting and ritual finished close to 5 p.m., the teacher told them to open the door. When the teacher went upstairs, he said that the spirit had already fled. However, he warned them that it would try to return again. He reassured them, saying it was not a problem, because he had protective items to seal the house and prevent the spirit from entering. The teacher performed another ritual, forming a symbolic figure representing a couple, and placed it above the front gate to guard the house. He also tied a red sacred cloth near the roof. After that, he told them the spirit would no longer dare to enter. Even so, the couple still did not dare return to the house right away. Only after a long time did they come back, and when they did, they invited 4 or 5 relatives to stay with them. The husband and wife slept upstairs, while the relatives stayed downstairs. After about 2 months, the relatives began to report strange experiences. At night, they heard faint voices calling from outside the house. Others said they saw 2 large figures sitting in front of the house at night. Sometimes small stones were thrown into the house. The couple called the spiritual teacher to check again. He said the spirit had returned, but it still could not enter the house. Instead, it was trying to lure them into opening the door. The teacher warned them, from 8 p.m. until 4 a.m., if anyone calls out, do not answer. Do not open the door. It is trying to enter the house again. He explained that this spirit was a powerful one that had once lived above the house, tied to the old wooden structure it once occupied. He strictly warned them, if they heard knocking at the door, they must never open it. After following the teacher's instructions, they were able to live peacefully for a short time. One day, a red cloth that had been placed on the roof suddenly fell down, as if someone had pulled it. When it fell, they were eating downstairs, so they all went upstairs to check. They saw that it had indeed fallen, even though it didn't make sense because the cloth was still new and in good condition. Seeing this, they called the teacher. The teacher told them to wait because he was busy at the moment. That night, something unexpected happened. She couldn't sleep and felt very uneasy. Her husband asked what was wrong, and she said she couldn't sleep because she was scared, and the teacher still hadn't called back. At around 3 a.m., her 19-year-old niece suddenly screamed and cried uncontrollably. Hearing this, they rushed to see what had happened. The niece said, "Auntie, close the curtain first, then I'll tell you. I saw 4 headless people, and they were walking toward the door, banging on it as if they wanted to come in." As soon as the aunt heard this, she immediately took her niece and husband and left the house before dawn. They locked the house and rode away without daring to look back at it. They went straight to Phnom Penh and told their mother. The next morning, they met the teacher. The teacher went to inspect the house. When he arrived, he used white thread and tied it along the stairs, pillars, windows, and all entrances, while chanting prayers to send the spirits away. Then he subdued the spirits. The teacher said that while he was capturing the spirits, his hands became numb and trembled because their bodies were cold. After checking once more, he said that everything was gone. The teacher explained further that this was not the first time the spirits had come. In the past, when they appeared at the house, there were only 3 of them, a mother and 2 children. But this time it was not just 3. On the roof of the house, there was a headless figure sitting silently. Upstairs were the mother and child, while downstairs there was the spirit of a young child. All of them had red cloth tied over their eyes. The teacher said that this time, it was as if they had returned again, calling not only their children, but also their grandchildren. There were many of them inside the house, coming as an entire lineage. However, the teacher reassured them that there was nothing to worry about. He said that he had already completed everything that needed to be done. After that, they felt a sense of warmth and relief. From then on, they were able to live peacefully up to the present day.